Konnichiwa, and welcome back to Global Studies. It is 2021, and our adventures are going to take us to the beautiful, famous archipelago of Japan. There are so many amazing things to learn about this beautiful country. If you take a look at each of these bubbles, these are things that we will be learning throughout this grading period. I am super excited for this adventure to get started. So, here we go! For students that are in kindergarten, first, or second grade, you should have received this book from your teacher. If you did not receive your Japan book from your teacher, you will get it during your next pickup. Today, it is not super important that you have your book for this lesson, but hopefully you will get it soon. For those that are in third, fourth, and fifth grade, I still have your Global Studies notebooks in the classroom. They will remain in the classroom. If you would like to print any of these items, you are welcome to do so. However, it is not necessary. Japan is an archipelago. That's a string of islands on the eastern edge of Asia. There are 4 main islands: Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu. There are also nearly 4,000 smaller islands too. Japan's nearest mainland neighbors are the Siberian region of Russia in the north and Korea and China further south. Almost 4/5 of Japan is covered with mountains. The Japanese Alps run down the center of the largest island, Honshu. The highest peak and Japan's most famous mountain is Mount Fuji, a cone-shaped volcano considered sacred by many Japanese. Japan can be a dangerous place. 3 of the tectonic plates that form the Earth's crust meet nearby and often move against each other, causing earthquakes. More than 1,000 earthquakes hit Japan every year. Japan also has about 200 volcanoes, 60 of which are still active. The flag of Japan shows a red rising sun in the middle of a white field. It is called Nishoki, formerly in Japan, but Japanese people usually call it Hanomaru, which means circle of the sun. If you have your Global Studies book, now is a great time to stop the video and color in the flag of Japan, red, and color the archipelago of Japan red as well. You will find the archipelago, remember, that's a string of islands, in the bottom right-hand corner. It is near the Tokyo Tower on the page. Doesn't the Tokyo Tower look a little bit like the Eiffel Tower? Archipelago. Can you say archipelago? Awesome. Now, if you really want to impress somebody, at dinner tonight, say that to your parents. Hey, Mom, did you know that Japan is an archipelago? And when they ask you, what does that mean? You can say, oh, that means there's a lot of islands in a row. An archipelago. Now it is time to try a few Japanese words. Don't worry if you cannot say them exactly perfectly. That is okay. These are very difficult to pronounce, but I'm sure that you will do a great job. Let's first learn how to say hello. To say hello in Japanese, you would say konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Now you try. Good job. Don't forget, there are 4 sounds. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Now you try. Hey, great job. Okay, let's try. How are you? How are you? O genki desu ka? O genki desu ka? O genki desu ka? Now you try. Good. Use the pronunciation guide on the left to help you out. O genki desu ka? O genki desu ka? Good. Now you can say, hello, how are you? Konnichiwa, o genki desu ka? You try. Good job. Okay, now, I'm fine. I'm fine sounds very familiar if you learned how to say, how are you? Genki desu. Genki desu. Genki desu. So the answer to o genki desu ka is genki desu. Good. And the last word is probably one of the most polite words to learn in every language, and that is thank you. To say thank you, you say arigato, arigato, arigato. Good job. One more time, thank you. Arigato. Good. Now it is time to find someone and practice this conversation. If you can't find anyone, that's okay. You could talk to your pet, a stuffed animal, or you could even talk to your brother or sister, mom, dad, or even have a conversation with yourself in the mirror. I tried to get my dog to have this conversation, and she was too sleepy. So, here we go. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. O genki desu ka? Genki desu. Arigato. Now you try. Let's hear it one more time. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. O genki desu ka? Genki desu. Arigato. Before we go, let's take a look at some of the most famous cities in Japan. You probably have heard of a few of these cities. We will look at Osaka, Yokohama, Tokyo, and Nagoya. Probably one of the most famous places in all of Japan would be Tokyo. Tokyo has been a destination for decades. One thing that Tokyo is most notably known for is its Harajuku. Harajuku refers to a region in Tokyo that is known for extreme fashion and youth culture. The streets are filled with cafes, young fashionistas, museums, and tourist attractions. Most tourists visit to catch a glimpse of the Gothic Lolitas, colorful costumes, and real-life anime styles. If you look at the girls in the picture, you can see many things that are also very popular here. Another popular place to go is Tsukiji Fish Market. This is the largest and busiest fish market in the entire world. Visitors will try to get here by at least 5 in the morning to see the hustle and bustle of the tuna auction. Access to getting in is partially restricted to visitors, but the outer region of the market has plenty for you to see as well. Then, many people will also go to Akihabara. Tokyo is famous for anime, electronics, manga, and video games. This is the epicenter of it all. It becomes a jungle of electric lights and colors at night that provide for sensory overload for many visitors. Getting lost, window shopping, and photography are the top activities here. This is where some of Tokyo's quirkiest attractions live. Another place that many people visit while in Tokyo is the Sensoji Temple. This ancient temple is the oldest and the most significant one in Tokyo. It receives nearly 30 million visitors every year, making it the top spiritual site in the world. The temple grounds are a popular spot for spending a nice afternoon eating traditional snacks from nearby restaurants and cafes. One of the best times to visit Tokyo, and Japan in general, is in the springtime. During March to April is the best time to check out the beautiful cherry blossoms. Springtime in Japan is when the cherry blossoms are in full bloom. Large areas of the city turn completely pink, and camera-wielding visitors dote the landscape. These cherry blossoms can be seen from many parts of the city. And last, check out Shibuya Crossing. I don't know about you, but this looks like one busy place. Look how many crosswalks there are just in this one photo. This is home to the busiest railway station on the planet. Shibuya Crossing has a reputation for being a bustling hub. This region is hugely populated and is a hotspot for the younger culture. One of the top attractions is watching the streetlights change at the main traffic crossing. Vehicles are stopped in all directions, allowing pedestrians to completely take over the crosswalk. There is actually a Starbucks that overlooks the scene, so if you happen to be there, make sure to get up and have a coffee while look out at the site below. Another famous place to visit inside of Japan is Nagoya. Because of its location and its opening to the Pacific Ocean, this has become one of the busiest ports in all of Japan. It is also a very important location for many manufacturing buildings and is home to the famous Toyota company. In addition to being a very busy harbor, the port of Nagoya has also become a very big tourist attraction in the latest of years. One of the most popular things to do here is to visit the aquarium. There are many things to do here, like visit native marine life, exotic species of fish from across the Pacific, as well as a very popular dolphin show. There is also a small amusement park called Sea Train Land. Another notable place to visit in Nagoya is the Toyota Commemorative Museum of Industry and Technology. It was opened in 1994 to celebrate its most famous company, the Toyota Company. Highlights of the visit to the Science and Technology Museum, often simply referred to as Toyota Techno, include numerous still working exhibits of the huge looms and textile manufacturing processes that Toyota started making in 1933. You can also see some interesting displays detailing its eventual transition into the world's leading automobile manufacturer, including numerous robots. Car buffs will also want to visit the huge Toyota Automobile Museum in a nearby city. And if you're still looking for more fun to do while in Nagoya, one of the newest major theme parks to have been built in the country for many decades is Legoland Japan. This only opened in 2017 and is already getting over 2 million visitors every year. In addition to its numerous rides and attractions, the park includes a fascinating and extremely detailed miniature town, complete with accurate scale Lego reconstructions of recognizable landmarks from all across Japan. A new hotel will open up at the site in 2018, and future plans also include an aquarium. Another noteworthy visit in Japan is Osaka. This is Japan's second biggest city, and it can seem like a never-ending maze to many people who visit it. It is very colorful with lots of beautiful lights. Because of this, it's important that you plan when you go to a big city like this. One of the most interesting things that Osaka has to offer is its sampling of world-famous cuisine, as well as exploring some of the historic castles. Another point of interest when visiting Japan is Yokohama. It also is a beautiful port city located just close to Tokyo. Because of its closeness, it is sometimes overlooked, although there are some very cool things to do when visiting Yokohama. One notable thing to do in Yokohama, which is really cool, is to visit the Shin Yokohama Ramen Museum. Now, this isn't like a normal museum. This is more like a food court. This beautiful food court or museum has recreated the invention of instant noodles that came about in 1958. So looking around in this museum, you will be brought back to that year when the ramen noodles were created, and you are able to buy these throughout this little food court. How cool! Don't forget to join us next week. New content drops on Monday. Sayonara!